Hey guys, what's up? Flex Tango here to dive into the wonderful world of zombies. We got the trailer coming out tomorrow. I'm excited. I'll be going over some information that I talked about in the past that not too many other people have actually covered, and some huge news and speculation that may be a deal breaker for many zombie fans and will worry some of those who are interested in the overall lore. So, to understand where the timeline is currently at in Black Ops Cold War, we need to recap the basics of the story and timeline. So, World War I, Maxis and Richthofen get their hands on 115 in France. By World War II, they've created a multitude of devices and weapons by utilizing 115. Right after World War II ends, Reznov goes on a mission led by Dragovich, who has a corrupt relationship with Nazi officer Steiner, who leads them both to a ship harboring containers of Nova 6. Then all hell breaks loose as Allied forces burst onto the scene to get their hands on Nova 6 as well. After said event, Reznov is imprisoned in Vorkuta, and now Russians and Allied forces all have their hands on Nova. Experiments using Nova are immediately being performed by the United States and the Soviet Union. Both have experimented on living creatures and have used 115 in conjunction to create their own wonder weapons. The technology is apparent in both maps Ascension and 5. Now we are caught up to Black Ops 1. And Black Ops Cold War is a direct sequel to Black Ops 1. This is where we get into where the upcoming zombie storyline takes place. Now, some might say they are different universes, but remember, the Zombies universe and Campaign universe paralleled each other up until Black Ops 2. Also keep in mind, the new COD universe is one singular universe, with Black Ops and Modern Warfare 2019 on the same timeline. I have a video explaining this, link will be in the description. Modern Warfare will be the part of the timeline taking place in the year 2025, which is coming up, erasing the original BOPS 2 campaign. Not to say we won't see the return of villains like Ramirez, but the year 2025 will be rebooted in its implementation. Now, we know the new Zombies takes place in the 80s, and the description is Cold War experiments gone awry, and in the teaser we got to see through the eyes of a soldier stumbling across zombies in abandoned facilities, one being Nacht der Untoten, paying homage to the introduction of zombies in World at War, where soldiers stumble across zombies on the first Nacht der Untoten, who according to the lore inevitably die. We also see in the teaser that the zombies have yellow eyes, suggesting they are still being controlled by Samantha. Their eyes turn blue under control of Richthofen after freeing Samantha, then switching places with her so that he could control the ether, which of course doesn't happen until the map Moon, which according to the Black Ops 2 timeline doesn't occur until 2025. Treyarch expressed previously there will be alternate timelines, and BOPS 4 ended with all characters committing suicide and resetting the ether timeline, which was all the writers really could do after writing themselves into the convoluted corner zombies have become, which to me will go down as one of the biggest fails in gaming lore history. But regardless, what this all means is the timeline leading up to Black Ops Cold War is probably still intact and most of the same, but leaves room for the story to change from this point going further, most likely erasing the zombies timeline in Black Ops 2, 3, and 4, for obvious reasons. I suspect this will occur by freeing Samantha in one of the upcoming maps, which of course takes place in the 80s, and will of course create a whole new timeline from that point on. But for the most part, we will be re-exploring past maps such as Nacht and possibly Ascension, among other Black Ops 1 and World at War maps, but with more areas within the maps to explore, which I'm excited about. I personally love the idea of those maps being expanded. There will also be a 1980s Transit, apparently, and Transit I'm most excited for mainly because they couldn't make the original like they wanted to or intended to because of the limitations of that particular console generation. The whole reason they implemented the fog was to hide said limitations, and each area of the map within Transit was actually supposed to be a lot bigger. But again, they were limited, so every stop the bus takes you to is actually smaller than it was originally supposed to be. So Transit 1982 we can expect to be their full vision finally come to fruition. But anyways, as for locations, most will be in Europe. The Gaming Revolution did a great video investigating and explaining where he predicts one of the main locations will be. He predicted Nacht possibly being in Poland on the border of Germany, and with the evidence, it's a very convincing prediction. But I made sure to message him, reminding him that at the beginning of Nacht in World at War, it says somewhere in Germany. He then replied, letting me know that he had completely forgotten about that little tagline at the beginning, because it's been years since he's played the map. But then we talked about the possibility of territorial changes being the reason for the Poland border confusion, which is something we will continue to look into because there were territorial changes made between the years of 1945 and 1980. If you haven't seen his video, I definitely recommend it. He also suggested some of the characters we might be playing as will be Woods, Mason, or Weaver, which would be full acknowledgement of them making the campaign and Zombies universe parallel again. I do believe this was the new Call of Duty universe's original intention, especially considering how Modern Warfare 2019 was going to have its own zombies that took place in a parallel timeline to Modern Warfare. But we also saw from Nolan, who was the voice actor from Richthofen, that apparently those voice actors are not returning for Black Ops Cold War Zombies, which may mean the original characters will also not be returning. But again, there is still the possibility they may return with different voice actors, like they did with Woods and Mason. But so far, we haven't seen any evidence that Rick, Tough, and Takio, Dempsey, or Nikolai will be returning. Tell me how you guys feel about that in the comments. But anyways, we also might be seeing the return of a couple of perks we haven't seen since Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. There is a company that sells nerd merchandise, and they release Call of Duty merchandise based on whatever Call of Duty is current. During Call of Duty World War II, they released World War II merch, and then with Black Ops 4, they released Black Ops 4 merch, and so on. But they stop making new merchandise for older CODs when the next Call of Duty comes out, and then they just move on to that new COD. And yes, this merchandise is officially licensed by Activision. Well, anyways, this company is starting to release merchandise for Black Ops Cold War to pre-order, and they release these zombie themed pins, and they have the ray gun on one, they have the monkey bomb on another with Deadshot Daiquiri. But what's interesting is they have a pin that has Tombstone and PH Flopper on it. Now, PH Flopper was removed from zombies after they got rid of diving in Call of Duty, and we haven't seen Tombstone colas since I think the original Transit. And you may be thinking this could possibly be a throwback type of merchandise, but again, they don't do throwback merch. They do merch in tangent with whichever Call of Duty is currently out or coming out. And the first Call of Duty they ever did merchandise for was Call of Duty World War II. So it's looking like these things will be returning. And the return of PH Flopper and Tombstone is insinuating two things. Obviously, the return of Transit and possibly seeing Tombstone in other maps, but also the return of diving in zombies. This is another thing I'm really excited for because I really do miss diving in Call of Duty. Anyways, that's all the information speculation I have for now. Tomorrow we're going to get to see the trailer, which should have a whole lot more lore that we can pull out of it. Hopefully it's not just like another teaser that's a little bit longer. But anyways, be sure to comment down below, keep the conversation going, help me get my subscribers up, trying to get to 2,000. I'd really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time.